Have you ever stopped to consider whether your body might be quietly trying to warn you that something more serious is going on? As we grow older, it's only natural to become more in tune with how we feel day to day. But sometimes the most critical signs are the ones we barely notice or assume are just part of aging. In today's discussion, we're going to explore 5 often overlooked signals that health experts say may indicate the end of life could be drawing nearer than expected. Now, that may sound unsettling, but please don't turn away. These signs aren't meant to frighten you. They're meant to inform you, to help you or someone you love recognize when it's time to act and seek care that could make all the difference. Too often, these signs are dismissed as just getting older or brushed off as no big deal. But doctors emphasize that tuning into these early indicators can be life-saving. We'll talk about subtle shifts in energy, physical changes you might not associate with anything serious, and what they could mean. And I encourage you to stick with us to the end, because understanding these symptoms can bring you clarity, peace of mind, and possibly even a second chance at better health. Saying uno, sudden, unintentional weight loss. One of the clearest signs that something deeper may be happening is when you begin losing weight without any real explanation. It's common for older adults to have a slower metabolism, and for many, keeping extra weight off becomes more difficult. That's why it's especially important to take notice if the pounds begin falling off, even though your eating and activity levels haven't changed. Sometimes it starts so subtly you don't realize it first. Maybe your pants are a bit looser, or someone comments that you look thinner in the face. You might shrug it off. But the truth is, when weight comes off without trying, your body may be reacting to something more serious beneath the surface. Health professionals often consider this type of weight loss a red flag, an early symptom of conditions such as certain cancers, chronic infections, or diseases affecting major organs. These illnesses can suppress appetite or raise your body's energy demands without you noticing. Imagine someone like Harold, a 74-year-old who didn't think much of it when he dropped 12 pounds over a few months. He hadn't changed his diet, wasn't exercising more, and figured it was just one of those things. But when he began feeling weaker and noticed he had less energy for his daily walks, he finally saw his doctor, and they discovered an underlying issue that needed treatment. Getting help in time gave Harold the chance to regain strength and feel more like himself again. The point is, if your weight is going down without explanation, don't ignore it. It's not always something serious, but it is always worth checking in about. Listening to your body is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. Sign number 1, unexplained weight loss. A story with a warning. Edward, 72, had always thought it would be nice to lose a bit of weight. So, we noticed that he dropped nearly 15 pounds over the course of a few months without dieting or exercising. He took it as a positive sign. At first, he was even pleased. It felt like an unexpected bonus. But as the weeks went on, something didn't feel right. He noticed his strength fading. Tasks that used to be easy, gardening, walking to the mailbox, or even cooking breakfast started to feel exhausting. Eventually, a visit to his doctor revealed something deeper going on, a medical condition that required immediate care. Edward's story is a gentle reminder that not all weight loss is a sign of progress. Especially in later years, losing pounds without explanation can be your body's way of saying something's not right. And it's not just about the scale. If you're also feeling unusually tired, not as hungry as usual, or simply not yourself, it's time to check in with your healthcare provider. Too often, people wait unsure if they're just aging or overthinking it. But there's nothing wrong with being cautious. In fact, taking early action may be the very thing that protects your independence and well-being. You don't need to figure it out alone. Your doctor can perform simple tests to help identify the cause and guide you toward solutions. Whether it's a manageable dietary adjustment or treatment for something more serious, what matters is that you're listening to the quiet messages your body sends. That's not being dramatic, that's being wise. Sign number 2, fatigue that doesn't go away, even with rest. One of the most overlooked signals of declining health is a deep, ongoing exhaustion that lingers no matter how much rest you get. This isn't the typical tiredness after a day working in the garden or watching the grandkids. It's a kind of fatigue that clings to you all day from the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the moment you crawl back into bed at night. What makes this kind of fatigue especially important to notice is that it's often tied to your body fighting harder than usual, sometimes against a problem that hasn't yet made itself obvious. Many people chalk it up to just getting older, but doctors say there's a clear distinction between natural aging and fatigue that signals something more serious. When you begin feeling winded just from getting dressed, fixing lunch, or walking across the room, that's not something to ignore. It could be your heart, your lungs, or another vital system working overtime behind the scenes. And the sooner you acknowledge it, the sooner you can get the right kind of support. If simple things like making breakfast, getting dressed, or holding a conversation start leaving you feeling unusually worn out, that's your body asking for attention. Take George, for example, a 76-year-old who began noticing that no matter how much sleep he got, he still woke up feeling completely drained. His morning routine never changed. Coffee in his favorite chair, a little music on the radio, but something fell off. That rested feeling never came. At first, he assumed it was poor sleep or maybe just aging. But as weeks passed and the exhaustion deepened, he decided to see his doctor. The diagnosis: his heart wasn't functioning as efficiently as it should. Thankfully, early intervention made a big difference in how he felt. This kind of fatigue can be quiet and gradual, so it's easy to miss. It may come with subtle signs like feeling winded after walking a short distance or needing to sit down more often than usual. You might catch yourself dozing off in the afternoon without meaning to, or realize that you've stopped doing the things you used to enjoy simply because you don't have the energy. These small shifts add up when your heart, lungs, or kidneys aren't working properly. Your body tries to make up for it, and that effort can leave you feeling totally spent. So, if you're nodding along right now, thinking that sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Tuning into how your body feels day to day is one of the best habits you can form. When something feels off, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. A quick visit could lead to real answers and real relief. Sign number 3, shortness of breath during everyday activities. Another subtle but serious warning sign is finding yourself short of breath when doing things that never used to leave you winded. We're not talking about climbing a steep hill or hauling heavy groceries. This is breathlessness from walking to the mailbox, making the bed, or even putting on a shirt. What makes this symptom tricky is that it often creeps up slowly. At first, you might catch your breath after a flight of stairs or need to sit down a little more often. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded after standing too quickly. But over time, these small moments grow, and what used to be a breeze starts feeling like a chore. Why does this matter? Because persistent shortness of breath can be tied to issues with your heart or lungs, organs that your body relies on for oxygen and stamina. If they're not working efficiently, the rest of your body feels it too. The good news is catching this early gives you a head start. Doctors can run simple tests to find out what's behind the breathlessness. And just like with George's story, getting help early could restore not only your breath, but your confidence, strength, and peace of mind. Sign number 4, sudden confusion or memory trouble. One of the more unexpected signs that something serious may be happening inside the body is a sudden shift in mental clarity. We all misplace our glasses or forget why we walked into a room. That's just part of life. But this is something different. It's when someone who usually thinks clearly starts to have noticeable trouble remembering familiar things, staying focused, or processing simple conversations. It might show up as getting lost in a familiar neighborhood, losing track of time, or feeling disoriented in a space you know well. This kind of cognitive change can feel alarming, and rightly so. Doctors stress that it could be a warning sign of something deeper, such as an infection, stroke, or an issue with how the body delivers oxygen or nutrients to the brain. Take Raymond, for instance, an 80-year-old who started having trouble recalling the names of friends he'd known for decades. At first, he laughed it off, thinking it was just old age, but his wife noticed other signs like not remembering the day of the week or forgetting why he'd gone to the store. A visit to the doctor revealed that Raymond had a serious infection affecting his brain. Thankfully, with treatment, his clarity returned. Sometimes this type of sign doesn't show up through memory, but through mood or personality. Someone who's normally upbeat might become easily irritated or anxious, or they may pull away from favorite hobbies and social interactions. These shifts often happen when the brain isn't getting what it needs, whether it's oxygen, blood flow, or essential nutrients. And since the brain controls how we think, feel, and make decisions, even small disruptions can have a big impact. It's also wise to pay attention to timing. If memory problems or confusion seem worse in the evenings or fluctuate throughout the day, that pattern can help doctors identify the root of the issue. In some cases, the cause might be as simple as dehydration or a vitamin deficiency. In others, it could point to heart or lung conditions that limit the oxygen reaching your brain. Whatever the cause may be, the most important thing is to act early. The sooner you or a loved one speaks up, the better the chances of getting the right support and care. These moments aren't just forgetfulness. They're your body's way of asking for help. Often, it's the people closest to us who notice changes before we do. When confusion sets in, it's not always easy to recognize from the inside. But family and close friends might see things more clearly, like if you start repeating the same stories, asking questions you've already answered, or seeming unsure about things that once felt second nature. If someone gently points this out, try to hear them with compassion. Their concern could be the very thing that helps you get the support you need. They're not being critical. They're trying to help. And their perspective might hold the key to understanding what's really happening. Being aware of your mental clarity is just as important as noticing changes in your physical health. After all, the brain is what keeps everything running. And when it starts signaling that something's off, those messages are worth listening to. Whether it's scheduling an appointment with your doctor or, in more urgent cases, heading straight to the emergency room, taking action isn't an overreaction. It's a wise and responsible choice to protect your well-being. If you're still with us and finding these insights helpful, go ahead and comment number 4 below that lets us know you're here and engaged. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful content to keep you informed and inspired. Now, let's move forward. Sign number 5, unexplained swelling in the legs or abdomen. Another sign that might catch you off guard is swelling in the lower body, especially your legs, ankles, feet, or around the belly. It's easy to brush off swelling as something harmless. Many older adults think, I must have been on my feet too long. Or maybe it's just the heat. And while occasional swelling can be minor, persistent or worsening swelling should never be ignored. This type of swelling, called edema, happens when fluid builds up in the body's tissues. When it shows up in the legs or stomach area, it could be a sign that something deeper is going on with your heart, kidneys, or liver. Take Martin, 81, for example. He noticed his shoes were suddenly snug, and his wedding ring became harder to remove in the evenings. At first, he thought maybe he was retaining water from the warmer weather or wasn't moving around enough. But when the swelling didn't go away and he began feeling bloated, he decided to speak with his doctor. The diagnosis: his heart wasn't pumping efficiently, which was causing fluid to back up. Thankfully, with proper treatment, the swelling eased and Martin started feeling like himself again. The important thing here is to pay attention to the patterns. If swelling builds throughout the day, or you feel unusually full after eating just a little, those are signs worth checking out. Getting ahead of the issue might not only ease the discomfort, it could also help prevent something more serious. One detail worth paying attention to is how the swelling changes throughout the day. In many cases, especially with conditions like heart failure, swelling tends to get worse as the day goes on, particularly if you've been standing or walking for long periods. By the evening, you might notice your socks leaving deeper marks or your waistband feeling snug, even if your weight hasn't changed. You may also feel bloated or uncomfortably full after just a light meal. These small but meaningful signs can give your doctor the clues they need to understand what's happening inside your body. Swelling tied to a more serious issue often doesn't come alone. It may show up with other symptoms such as shortness of breath when lying down, unexplained weight gain, or a sensation of tightness in the skin. Some people even notice that pressing on the swollen area leaves an imprint that takes several seconds to fade. These signs are your body's way of saying it's having trouble managing fluid, and it's important not to ignore them. Another key factor is how quickly the swelling appears. If it comes on suddenly, especially alongside chest discomfort, difficulty breathing, or mental confusion, it may be a medical emergency, and it's important to get help immediately. But even if the swelling comes on more gradually, don't assume it's harmless. Early attention and medical guidance can often prevent things from progressing further. Often, it's a loved one who first notices the difference. Maybe someone mentions that your shoes seem tighter than usual, or that your face looks puffier than normal. While it's easy to brush these comments aside, they can be thoughtful reminders to check in with your health. Sometimes it takes another set of eyes to help us see what we've been overlooking. Swelling in the legs or belly isn't just a matter of discomfort. It can be a signal your body's gentle way of asking for support. By acting early, you're doing something powerful. You're choosing to care for yourself in a way that helps you stay active, connected, and well for the years to come. Paying attention isn't a sign of fear. It's a sign of wisdom. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the 5 important signs we've covered today. Which one stood out the most to you? Have you noticed any of them either in yourself or in someone you care about? Whether it's unexpected weight loss, lasting fatigue, difficulty breathing, sudden memory trouble, or unexplained swelling, these aren't meant to alarm you. They're gentle reminders that your body is always speaking to you. And when something doesn't feel quite right, it's okay, even wise, to ask questions and seek support. Your health is one of your greatest gifts. Listening to your body and taking action when needed isn't just smart. It's an act of care, courage, and self-respect. Catching these signs early can make a real difference, not just in how you feel physically, but in your ability to keep enjoying the activities and people that bring meaning to your life. It's easy sometimes to dismiss changes as just part of getting older, but your body has its own wisdom. It knows how to signal when something needs attention. By staying mindful and speaking with your doctor when something doesn't feel quite right, you're taking an important and empowering step toward protecting your health. And remember, you don't have to face it alone. Your loved ones, caregivers, and healthcare providers are there to walk alongside you every step of the way. We'd love to hear from you. What's one insight from today's video that really resonated with you? Maybe it's inspired you to check in with how your energy feels each day, or perhaps to ask your doctor about something that's been on your mind. Whatever it is, please take a moment to share it in the comments below. Your thoughts might be just what someone else needs to hear today. Reading your reflections means a lot to us. They give us purpose and encouragement to keep creating meaningful content that informs and uplifts. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Again, feel free to leave a comment and let us know what you're taking away from this video and how you might apply it in your own life. If you found today's message helpful, we'd be truly grateful if you could like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing you thoughtful, heart-centered videos like this one. Take care, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon in the next.